Welcome to the Arcanum. I'm the awesome one, the icon. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, there was Star Wars. Yeah, there was Star Wars. So I haven't seen any of the Star Wars films. Like, which person you know that loves movie haven't seen Star Wars? Man, yeah, I haven't seen Star Wars until now. So I've been on a mission, since episode 7 comes out in like a year or so, I've been on a mission, catching up on the Star Wars in order of release. So the first Star Wars on my list is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And now Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, we're kind of just thrown into the story of Star Wars. I mean, there's a lot of backstory, about the Star Wars universe as to how the Civil War and everything started, but they didn't really get into that. They just throw you into the story of what's happening now. And if what's happening now is, makes a lot of money, if people go see what's happening now, they'll probably give you a prequel later on down the line. So as I said, we're kind of just thrown into the Star Wars universe, what's happening right now. So there's a civil war going on right now between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. So Princess Leia, who is kind of a spy, she's on the inside. She was able to steal some some of the blueprints for the Galactic Empire's Death Star, which is a heavily armored space station. It's a huge space station spaceship that is capable of destroying a planet. So Princess Leia, she was able to steal some of the design, but before she was able to get caught, she transferred the blueprints onto this robot, the R2-D2, and also sent a message to Obi-Wan Kenobi. So, the Galactic Empires, they're going after these two robots, the R2-D2 and the C-3PO robot. And the C-3PO and the R2-D2, their robotic relationship, their robo-relationship, I guess you can call it, it's pretty cool. I like how they interact with each other. I mean, they kind of act like they hate each other, but deep down they're happy to have each other around. So I thought it was pretty awesome stuff. So not knowing the backstory of Star Wars, being thrown into it, we're introduced to three main characters that were really interesting, really great characters. First of all, let's start with Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia. Now, Princess Leia, when you see princesses in today's movies, princesses, they're usually weak. They're a bunch of damsel in distress. They can't really protect themselves. But Princess Leia, she's a pretty hardcore, pretty wicked, badass female character. I know a lot of girls, they see this movie they'll love her because she's a really strong female character. Even some of the time she actually takes charge. All right, we're gonna do this. Anybody objects, nobody raises their hand because they do not want to deal with her because she's a badass. Yeah, and Carrie Fisher, I thought she played her wonderfully. She was an awesome Princess Leia, and I think she was kind of one of my favorite characters, to be honest with you. Also, you have Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke Skywalker, kind of an apprentice to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi is talking about, Luke Skywalker, he had a father, but, his father was betrayed and killed by Darth Vader, and the two of them together were part of the Jedi Knights, who represent, they protected peace and balance in the universe, and they're able to use this thing called the Force, which is force from all the living things in the universe. And when I heard the Force, the energy from all the living things in the universe, I'm just all right, Dragon Ball Z, Goku, share your energy with me, Spirit Ball and everything. So I guess the Force is basically spirit energy. I guess you could say that from Goku kind of stuff. But I thought that was pretty cool. And Luke Skywalker is a pretty cool dude. The dude knows how to move around in his spaceship and everything. I thought it was pretty cool character, pretty likable. But I gotta say, the standout character of all of them was Han Solo. I mean, Han Solo, the dude is just a one-man army. The dude is just pure badassery, just pure badassery. Every scene that the dude is in, he steals the scene he's in because he's just a really badass dude, is overflowing with charisma. I like that one scene that he was having with via the transmitter, where he's all right, everything is good up here, everything is good up here. The other guy on the other hand is all right, you sure we're gonna send somebody up here? He's all right, everything is good, everything is good. And the other guy's hey, yeah, and he's all right, how are you? Everything is good, how are you doing? The other guy's all right, we're gonna send somebody up. So he's all right, he just shoots the transmitter. He's all right, boring the conversation anyway. So I thought it was really cool, how Harrison Ford was just pretty badass, pretty likable one-man army, badass character. Darth Vader, I'm not gonna leave a Darth Vader, man. Darth Vader is so cool. The first time I saw Darth Vader, he's breathing deeply and everything. I'm sure it's because of the mask. It's I'm like, holy shit, like that's like, I don't know, that was a scary ass breathing, but I just kind of knew like he was gonna be a badass. And James Earl Jones, like perfect voice casting, because James Earl Jones, he just got one of those voices, like a really distinguished voice, kind of like Morgan Freeman voice. I thought he did a really good voice in Darth Vader. Now there wasn't a lot about like, you know, lightsabers, you know, in this one. This was more of a, you know, a space, you know, like a space adventure between starships and warships. That's pretty much what this was about. There wasn't much about lightsabers. I guess you gotta wait for the other movies for that. But I actually like what they did, you know, with the starship battles and stuff. I thought it was like pretty cool. Even the explosion, they look all right. I mean, they look pretty good, except the explosion, they were kind of the same explosions over and over again. I mean, some were on the lower scales and some were on bigger scales, but it was pretty much the same explosions over and over again. It didn't really look that good. It was like star foams just like blowing up. It was just star foams explosion. That's pretty much what it was. But for a movie of its time in 1977, I think that, you know, they did it to the best of their abilities. And one more thing I didn't really like was there was like one scene where they're going up against the Galactic Empire starship, and you know the Alliance is going up against the starship, and there's a couple of scenes where they go into the valley where they try to shoot into this little hole thing that will, you know, blow up the starship. Yeah, but every time they go into this little valley thing, it's like the same shoot, the same scene, the same like same technique, same style over and over again. So it's like they keep replaying the same scene over and over again of, you know, the starships enter into that, you know, valley. And I'm thinking just like, why would you replay the same scene over and over again? It's done the same exact way. It got a bit boring. But other than that, you know, the valley scene where the starships enter that little valley and, you know, the explosion being like star foams exploding, that was pretty much my only negatives. But everything else, I thought it was a movie well above its time. I mean, you're talking about 1977, and just watching the movie now in 2015, you're like, holy crap. Like, they made this movie with 17 million. I mean, I guess that was a lot back then, but for 17 million, they did a really good job, because when you really look at it, we have some movies that come out right like today's age, 2015, for like $200 million, and they don't even look as good, or as like they're not as quality. They don't show like the quality that Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope shows. So I thought this was a movie that was well above its time, but like in a good way. Like, it showed you like how awesome, you know, Star Wars battles, you know, could be. And yeah, kind of a movie that changed a lot of things. The Millennium Falcon, when we first see Harrison Ford, his first lines were, "Hey, I'm Han Solo, captain of the Millennium Falcon." I'm like, holy shit, the Millennium Falcon, this looks badass. This spaceship, everything, it looked badass. Chewbacca, awesome. Chewbacca was pretty awesome. Everybody, man, there's nothing really to not like about this movie except the explosions and that one scene where it's just the same scene over and over again. But other than that, I thought this was a really well put together movie, well above its beyond its time, above its time, I guess you could say. Yeah, looked really great. Like, it looked better than I actually thought it was gonna look. But yeah, overall, I liked it. You know, I guess I went in expecting on some more lightsaber battles, but I guess that's for other movies down the road. But what they did do with the spaceships, you know, the crafts just fighting each other, I thought it was like pretty cool. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool movie. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope for me is an ace. 4 out of 4 stars. But did you guys see the film? Let me know your thoughts on the film below. And if you like what I do here, want to see more, hit that subscribe button and join the ascension. I'm the awesome one, the icon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Later.